Peter, I've been very impressed by very active youth movement in Thailand, even though, you couldn't become a prime minister after the victory 2 years ago, but it's very impressive. And I think there is a contagious effect. Look at Bangladesh. Yeah, the youth, the college students stood up, right, against the authoritarian government, against especially the anti-quota movement. And also recently in Nepal too, young population played a very critical role in toppling the corrupted, the authoritarian government. So how would you advise? On the other hand, I will say some East Asian youth generations are becoming more conservative rather than seeking that kind of democratic change.
Yes.
Even though I have to be careful because it's very difficult to generalize. So if you advise the youth in Asia, because you talked about the unity inside Asia, the youth, how they can unite, even though they live in very different worlds, economically and politically. And second, you are very eminent young politicians. In Korea, out of 300 seats, we have only 14 young MPs under age 40. So it's very difficult in Korean setting for young politicians get elected, but still they should be our leader, our future leader. So how would you advise young Koreans who aspire to be the MPs in the future?
All right. So 2 questions. One is to how to mobilize the youth and unite the youth throughout Asia. And number 2 is pathway to politics for the younger generation. 2 parts. I think the first part, before you mobilize the youth, you have to empathize with them first. You have to understand what they had to go through in the past 2 decades of their lives. I mean, looking at the graphs from VDIM, you see that the youth will have to go through 2 coups in Thailand, 2 amendments in Thailand, a COVID crisis, the fear of not getting a job, the parents going through a job insecurity, housing crisis. So really, once you understand them, that these are the things that they worry about, it's different from what we worried about in the past. So once we do that, we have a way to engage them, we have a policy that's designed for them, and we make politics fun. We make politics sensational. We had to go through all that misinformation or information. The fakes, people were saying, the military was saying I was born in Cambodia. A lot of these fake news came in, but the youth got so engaged because it was so much fun, and we speak for them, we represent them, we empathize them before we mobilize them. That's when they come out together and correct all those fake news and go to the polls and vote. However, I don't think that, the engagement in politics in the youth is always the case. If it was a student uprising in Korea or student uprising in Thailand or any parts of the world, Berkeley in America, whatever, you see that because they have so much future ahead of them, they will think progressive. They will think equality. I want a chance in life. I want freedom, right? But U.S. presidential election in November was a wake-up call for me that you cannot take this new first-time voter for granted. You have to be engage on the ground, the grassroots development that really cater to the younger generations. That's the answer to the first question. The second question is about pathway for politics. So our party, the average age, we have 151 out of 500 before. Average age is 42. The youngest is 25. We form a party that becomes a pathway for commoners and the younger generation to really get into politics without compromising their values and the bank account. So it's lean campaign management, is using data-driven, using social media as a platform, to avoid all those expensive campaign management. So they feel like, okay, now I can become a politician without big last names, without big bank account, and it's not going to jeopardize my future. So it becomes easier. But the secret sauce is about 2 or 3 things. And this is how I interview my candidates, my future candidates program. Why politics? You're 18 and 20 and 25, you're running soon. Why politics? Second question is, why my party and not other party? And third question is, why now and not before or not after? That way, you kind of tell whether the guy really cares about politics or just wants some big title and big names. And those are the pathway to politics for my party.
Thank you very much. I'd like to continue our discussions, and I'm sure you too. However, it's only already, I ran over 2 minutes. So I think it was a great discussion, and especially the eminent speakers when they deliver the keynote speech. So let's thank them by giving a big applause. Thank you very much.
และมีจุดเด่นกว่านั้นคือไม่เคยคุยโตโอ้อวดทำงานก็ไม่ชอบ